All right, friends, I'm not ready to quite throw in the towel yet. So we're gonna take a look at this again right after this. Welcome back. If you haven't seen my videos before, Frosty Oliver Man. In the last installment on the 550, we struggle busted. We did get a starter to work, and I think we might have even accomplished getting that filter to stop leaking, even though it's the old filter and there's no, new replacement available. I have hunted high and low. I guess what I'm gonna have to do is make me a deal and adapt like a cab filter base in here somehow, make a different bracket. The problem is you just don't have room, friends. Your air cleaner cup is here, so you need that room to do that. We'll just have to, we'll figure something out when that time comes. But anyway, it occurs to me that our next maneuver might be take the lid off the pump. It looks to me like it's never been done, So can we get in there and do this? We should be able to. The biggest problem is all of the trash that's on it. That's not gonna work. And we're gonna have to take the return lines off, so I don't know. I'm thinking about all the stuff I need to be doing, but instead I'm screwing around playing with this. But what I'm thinking is I want to get this to a place where it's okay to be done, Oh, this kind is the kind with screws. So it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle bus to get that out of there. I don't think that's gonna come out, but that's okay. All right. Perhaps we should get the appropriate wrench, which I think will be a 3/8 maybe. Looks like they couldn't possibly be two different sizes. Oh, it looks like we got a problem again, friends. Somebody has, oh, get out of here, flying creature. Go back to hell where you belong. Anyway, what I'm saying is, let's just do that. That makes me feel better, right? No, this is going to be kind of a problem because everything now is going crazy, but screwdriver, it's a screwdriver head type deal, so I have to try to get that in there. And how am I going to manage that, friends, with this injector right above there? I guess I did it on the other one somehow, but I don't know. And then do I take this out of my way just so I get more room? But there's really nowhere I can go with it. Like, if I take this off, that's fine, but it's not going to go anywhere. I guess that gained me a little bit, like I can tuck it down below. Let's be really aggressive with it. There we go. Okay. It looks to me like somebody's already had their way with that one. So that's not gonna work. That's gonna be a vice grip affair. The one bright spot is, well, let's table that. I was gonna say the one bright There. The one bright spot is that I looked and I believe I do have another 550 diesel air cleaner, but we need to take it out of there and check it over and make sure it's really better than the one we got. Well, it's bound to be better than the one we got, but I don't know. I also don't know if it's even physically possible to get it out of the tractor without taking the whole front nose off. I don't think it is, but we'll find out. Boy, this is hard to get motivated to do this, you know? It's supposed to be fun, but it just doesn't seem like it is today. Golly. The next question is, do we just go ahead and make a new one of these so we can actually get it into the when we put it back together? It kind of seems like maybe that'd be the thing to do. I gotta get the wrench. Enough screwing around. Okay, well, immediately we struggle by dropping stuff. Oh, this is hard to get in here, isn't it? That actually, I was worried that wasn't going to get out of our way good, but it will. Come on. We might actually. Why am I taking this one loose? Well, I did pivot it out of the way, but that's not the one we need to take loose. Oh, it's hard being stupid, friends. That one's not gonna come loose as predicted. So probably what we'll do, oh, there we go. It'd be easier if it would just come loose with the wrench instead of, I was gonna take this one out of the way because it would make it easier to do everything else, I think. I might be wrong. Looks like I am. That's fine though. I don't mind struggling. I'm used to it by now. There we go. Oh, come on. I think it actually rained last night, and I didn't think that it was supposed to. I don't know what happened there exactly. The old weather folks seem to be missing it a little these days. It's okay, but it's just the surprise of it all. Well, I thought that I was making this easier for myself, but I don't know that I am. Come on. Okay. I think we've made us enough room where we can get in there potentially. I guess we should probably start with the one that's going to be the most trouble, which is that back one. Is that the way the slot is? I can't tell. This is really something because there we go. See, I really would like to get a really nice grip on it, and I'm not going to be able to. And then that's the kind of way that you get stuff twisted off. I'm not doing too well. Let me see if I have one of those 90-degree screwdrivers, because I think that would be the trick for this. 90-degree screwdriver. It's worth a try. Okay. I didn't find it. Any other time, I would be tripping over one. Oh, those are going to be so stuck. I bet you. They're going to be so stuck. I don't know how I'm going to get that off of here on the tractor. I much prefer the bolts, the bolted ones. I guess if I had a slightly longer, thicker flat screwdriver, I could get up in between here somehow and get a straighter pull on it, but still not very good. Not very good. I don't know that they're gonna come loose, friends. This might be a that Oliver guy type project where we just twist them off and cry. We know the front two are going to participate because it's going to be that back one that decides to hold us hostage. We got to get the trash cleaned out of them. So far we're not doing great. I don't know why either. There's no reason that shouldn't fit down in there. Hey, that improved the lighting actually. I used the bright orange or the bright yellow umbrella from a viewer and propped it up here, and now not only can I see, but I think you can see better. And if you can see better, that's what we're after here. Okay. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3. Now, we got to focus on how to get 3 out of 3. Like I said, I'm not sure that I wish I could get that in there sideways and just use it as a lever. Pry it around. I thought I had it, but I didn't. We don't want to ruin it. That's the name of the game there. Because that would be sad if we did that. Come on. That is tight. Come on. All we're going to do is break our screwdriver off. Is this one any better? No. We're going to have to get a longer one. That's what she said. There we go. We might have got it. No. I actually broke it. I know. It's almost humorous, but not really. There. Okay, I'm willing to sacrifice a Chinesium screwdriver if it means getting something broke free. I'm betting though that this is probably why a lot of them have little bolt-headed stuff now, because you can't get this off with screws on this application like this. I'm trying to keep as much trash off of this thing as possible. I don't know that I'm having great success with that either. Well, we got her loose enough that diesel fuel is starting to come out the top of the pump. So, you know, we at least know that I did in fact get diesel fuel up here to the pump. Why I'm even attempting this, friends, is because the tractor was actually parked with the fuel stop pulled out. So what I'm hoping is that the metering valve is closed and that I can fiddle with it and get it to open again, and maybe that's all. Like if this diesel fuel in here is old enough that it's not like our modern diesel fuel, maybe I can fool it into participating with me. You know what I'm saying? It's nasty. I mean, you can see that. See how that color is? Now watch this. If I brake clean some of that away, there's the difference in color. So you see, it is in fact dirty, but no more than usual. Now I really need to get that out of there so I can see what I'm doing. Varnishy, nasty diesel fuel. The diesel fuel I put in it was actually road diesel fuel, so I'm just gonna try to blow that all out of there. If you get wet, oh well. Look at how that nastiness comes off of there. Alright. I can see what I need to see, I think. But I bet you it's disappointment, like usual. And that is, if I move this, well, actually, I think I might be in luck. I see the metering valve. That would be this little thing. And it's supposed to, it should turn that metering valve. I thought maybe we had a good sign, but get out of there. Get out of there. Suck that out of there. Alright, so let's take the flashlight, in other words, the telephone, and then, okay, I need to see down in there. I need to see that linkage that's not moving back, which needs to move back. There we go. Okay, there's one way. Now let's go back the other way. Can we? Well, see, I cut this cable because it's okay. There, we moved it back. Okay, I'm gonna keep working it back and forth and see if I can see, like, there's one way and then this one is the other way. But when I push on this, it should spring back, and it's not doing that instantly. But I am getting progress here, see? So I'm gonna work on that and see if I can get it to move better, and then I'll bring you back. Okay, friends, I think we're good. See, now when I pull that little deal there springs back against it. That thing is the metering valve twisting, because that's how it works. It actually twists to put more fuel in. So it works without me doing anything now. So it was stuck back, which is off. So obviously the tractor was getting no fuel. But now, through the magic of stupidity, it is. So this was a worthwhile endeavor. I'm not saying that this is gonna completely fix it, because it might still, the little transfer pump thing in there might be stuck. That's what was wrong with that other one, but at least we have a chance now. I'm gonna gingerly put this back on. We're gonna have to pump and fill that up again. We're gonna put that one actually looks the worst. Let's put it up here where we can get to it. I'll put one that's a little bit better shape towards the back. We might hear it run, actually, friends. I'm amazed. If we can pull this off. This might be our greatest triumph ever. Because so far, we haven't had much success on will it runs and stuff we pulled out of the backwoods, you know. Some people can pull that stuff out of places where it's sat for 50 years out in the woods, diesels, and give it a little ether and it fires right up. And I can't seem to get them to do nothing that way. But the other thing is, a lot of the stuff I revival, if it hasn't sat that long, what's going on is it's got modern diesel fuel in it, and then that doesn't work. All right, we're gonna call that tight. Then I was gonna do the thing, but I guess now that we got it, we're gonna just go ahead and put this together with what we had and hope for the best. I was gonna make a new line, but ain't nobody got time for that. I'm gonna put that. Okay. Ooh, I'm excited again. It might actually do the thing. Wouldn't that be cool if it does the thing? All right, friends. I've got the injection lines loosened. We are going to crank on it and see if anything comes out of the injection lines today. It's probably going to take it a super long time because that whole cavity's empty. And there again, I also wonder if sometimes those injection lines get like stuck to they get stuck to the like up in the fitting, and then they still won't leak. I wonder if I should try to pump the primer again. I had such terrible luck with that yesterday, but I don't know. Let's just keep. Well, still nothing, but that's okay. I mean, at least we know now that we're definitely going to have to take the pump off if this doesn't work, is what I'm saying. I'm going to pull one of these totally off just to see if I really got it loose enough. Because I bet you what my trouble is, why I'm not seeing any fuel this way, is just because they're so stuck to that thing. That's what I bet is going on, partly. It's probably also stuck, but there's just no way to... There's just no good way to do nothing. No way to do nothing without really tearing her down, you know? I should go pump that primer, I guess, just to say that I did. Can I? Nope, I can't get a good... You just can't do much of anything. There's just no good way here to see. I could take these loose to see if it's spraying out, but then I would defeat my purpose of trying to bleed anything, because the thing that takes the longest time is to fill the injection lines, you know? All right, let's try it again. See if it does anything. I sprayed some ether in there, so it's probably gonna... I thought maybe I could fool it into participating. What's weird about this one is that other one would run off of ether, but I agree, usually you have to have a little bit of fuel up there for it to do that. So what it could be is just that it, what am I trying to say? Well, it could be that it was run, like when it tried to run before, it was using up what little fuel it had, and now it's totally dry, so we're out of luck. But we're gonna take this, we're gonna tighten these back out, and we're gonna fard pound it and see if we can trick it into living. Sometimes you gotta really convince them they want to be alive. It's just like any adult. Come on, Mama, let's play. Stop that. Boy, it acts like it wants to go. So close, but yet so far. Okay, just to prove a point and to make sure nobody disagrees with me, I pulled the number 1 injection line all the way off, and I'll crank it, and no fuel comes out. Like none. So, this one is just like that other one, but worse. It is gummed up and stuck, and it's not gonna do the thing. So we are pretty well tabled on this until that pump gets rebuilt. I will take it off of here and I'll run it up there to him so he can get going on it sometime, and then that'll, you know, keep this project kind of going. But from what I've heard, like I said, I don't see any reason why it won't run. I think it will. It'll be just fine. So it may run terrible, and it may have other problems once we get it running. But for now, the reason it's not running is that we don't have good stuff. You know, I mean, this isn't going to work. So what will take place when I get that pulled off of there, I might do that in this video, actually. We might do that later, because we're probably going to struggle bus it, especially with that back one again. But what we can do is we'll take that off. While it's off of there, I'm going to figure out another filter situation and maybe change that air breather, swap it out with a good one. Oh, those donkeys, they're driving me nuts. Anyway, what I was saying is swap the air filter, get the fuel system ready, because I really don't want to run dirty. I don't want to run an old fuel filter right before a rebuilt pump, you know. That would make me sad. So we'll figure out what we can do with the space we are given. And I think that one I have one that came off of an 1850. And I think if I made just a little bracket up here, like just off of a couple bolts here, put the 2 bolts there, it would hang about here, and I think that's still adequate room to get the cup down and everything. And then we'll just have to come up with lines to make it work, adapt from one to the other. I hate it. I hate that I got to do that, but I don't know what else to do. But I need some of those filters anyway. Like I said, if anybody knows where there are some of the correct ones, say something, because I'd rather leave it like it is or put it back like it is, even if I end up changing it for now. Now let me explain something about what I just said, because after the last video, I probably had 100 emails with people sending me links to the filters that I needed that you could buy. But the thing you don't understand is those pictures on the internet are correct. That is the filter I need. But when you order it, it shows up as the other one. I know, because I've tried from 4 or 5 different places. The picture is always correct, but the filter that shows up is the wrong one. So that is the problem. It's not that it shows that it doesn't exist. They show that it does. But when you order it, it physically comes as the wrong one. And also, that 1650 has one on it, just like this. And I want to service it. Why, I can't take that loose now, or I'm going to be in the same boat as this one. So, yeah. But I'm amazed. We actually got our starter situation taken care of. Like, that worked just fine. But the problem is now everything else is not working fine. So, yeah, that's what we'll do. I will get... I'm going to have to leave for the bus right now, so it'll be after a while when we start pulling it apart. But I'm just going to go ahead and take that pump off, and we're going to take it in, get that done, be done with it. And then that way, whenever we get it back, we can find out if this is actually going to be a running tractor that we pursue right now, or if this is going to be a put it away in the corner type of tractor that we don't want to mess with. That's going to be sad if we rebuild this pump and then find that out, you know, that it's no count, and then we let the tractor sit and then the pump ends up going bad again and we have to do it again. which I'm sure is exactly what will happen, but it won't be the first time that's happened to me, so it's only money, friends. It's only money. That pump's got something different on that cover. I wonder if it's the kind, yeah, it would have been the kind, I think, that had that line from on the back side, and then maybe they changed it. I don't know. I don't know what that is. We'll have to take a look at that when we get it off of here, but I don't think it is what I'm thinking of, though, because that other one had a taller fitting, I think, and the hose came off there, and then it went to like the timing window, is what I'm thinking. But if you got that kind with that hose, that's a pain, because you can't change it unless you pull the pump off. But I'm rambling, you know. I had the other guy on that other pump on the 550, the other 550. I had him delete all that whilst he had it off, so we didn't have to worry about that. But sure, pulling injection pumps, my favorite. Actually, that's not a bad gig. It's just on this one, you got to take the starter off to get enough room. So that's what we do. I think we can do this real quick because we got the, we should have all the tools here that we just put this back on with. So we should be able to pull that right back off just right quick. Okay. How did we decide to... Oh, I think we did it ratchet wrench style. We put it in there, but if we can get it loose enough, we'll just go like this. I'm really good about making a mess, you know? That's one thing nobody can take away from me. I make a mess better than anybody you'll ever meet. And not just tractors, friends. Life, too. I can make a mess of life. Oh, okay. Stop. Stop. Get that out of there. Tilt. Tilt out. I am going to have to leave, but I'm plugging on, just trying to get some little doodabbers done whilst I'm out. All right, it's later. There's Buddy the dog. Buddy the dog, you want to say something? No? Okay. That's fine. But I am getting close to pump pulling. I think I'll do injection lines first, maybe. We could also do similarly but not related to. We could do these again. And this time I might actually do what I said I was going to do and make a new one of these. Just to fix this rounded off problem here. Because see, I got nothing there. I got nothing. So that's fine. Oh, I guess I could take this back off too, so this wasn't in my way. Let's just keep doing the opposite of anything that I say. Let's say we're going to do one thing and then completely do the other thing. It's kind of, I don't know. I just, this whole tractor is covered with, like, I don't know what happened. Was it leaking diesel fuel all over itself and then it sat and dirt happened and stuff hardened, or why is it? It's coated with a very odd coating of everything. Like all of this is like a solid. I don't know. I want to get this done and then move on to something else tonight. Enough's enough, friends. Enough's enough. I keep forgetting that this one's opposite way, right? No? This one would be the same way because it's pointed the same direction, but that other one, the other side one, is threaded in from the opposite way, so we have to turn it the opposite way. So try to remember all that. Sometimes you get going so fast you just don't think about it right. All these are little return lines, so I guess if you screw it up bad, it's not really gonna be a deal breaker. You know, it'll just leak. Come on, I just had you all loose. Why are you there? There's a piece of mud. Let's get that out of there. Okay. Now let's take off injection lines if possible. That one I already have loose, because a while ago we decided that, you know, we would show off that, you know what I'm saying. We would show off that it wasn't really putting out any fuel. It's got two little plungers in there that do like fuel pumping, and that is more than likely what's stuck. And given how stuck the metering valve was, I would say those things are quite stuck. Hopefully he can get this pump apart, and it's not going to be the kind of thing where it gets destroyed and I have to pay for a whole new housing, because that would be sad. I don't know if I have any. I'm about 99% sure I don't have any more 4-cylinder pumps. I could probably come up with a few 6-cylinder ones for parts. Am I taking this off the right way or what? Yes, I am. The problem is, like I said earlier, they kind of get stuck up in there. But it is in fact doing the thing. So we just have to figure out how we're going to cover this all up later. Now these three are banded together, so we need to... Oh man, boy, this is crazy. Somebody already turned that one a weird pattern, pointed her down to give themselves more room on the starter. But the problem that could create is potentially it's rubbing here, so I don't know that that was the very smart thing to do. And I don't know that I really needed that clearance to get the starter in. I think it was going fine. But I know on that other 550 diesel with this same exact setup, I was able to do it. I don't know. It's not even the middle of the week and I am totally exhausted already, friends. How am I gonna make it to the end? I mean, I guess I could just die. That would probably solve the problem. Come on, baby dolls. Come on. Too much stress in the last little bit. Too much stress coming up ahead. Oh, these have not been off of here for a good while. No, 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 they have not. I should probably get some more Limpatador to try to help break up the crusties on its way out, but I mean, so like that right there, it feels like we're being awfully hard on it, and I don't like that. Maybe I should take the clamp off and do them one at a time. But I really want to just save time, friends. See, this is going to be the same thing as before. that's really loose. There. Okay, that one came loose. That one's not gonna do it. Come on. Come on, baby doll. Ooh, ooh. So sad that they had to take the sulfur out of our diesel fuel. It was so good for the environment. I long for acid rain. I mean, those were the days, friends. Those were the days. Okay. I want to say that those are all see, you don't want to dent them. So you don't want to be doing what I'm doing and beat on them, because that's not good for them. But at this point, we're getting frustrated. We knew we were going to have to do this in reality, but we were so hopeful that maybe we could just accidentally revival this one for some reason without any expense. Because what'll be really sad is if we spend money on this pump, put it on, and then find out this motor knocks like a, you know, traveling religion trying to get you to join. Well, I think we're canoodled to the point of we're probably going to have to take that clamp loose, which I was trying to avoid extra work for no reason. But I'm afraid that if I don't do that, I'm going to fight the impossible fight, it looks like. I mean, things are not... Maybe if I just go back and forth between them, I can get them to back off of there. But I think like that one is as far back as it needs to be. That one's down off of there. Oh, come on. We just don't have any good thing to get any kind of leverage off of. That's the other problem. Okay, that one came down. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe it's maybe they're not all the way down yet. I thought they were. That's not the right wrench. I don't know why I picked it up, but it's still turning the thing. There we go. Is that loose? Come off of there. I don't know that I've ever had this much trouble with such a thing. Usually injectors just kind of, injection lines come off, no problem. And I don't have to do all this extra work. But this one being kind of bent up, I guess that's the reason why. Okay, there's one. Come on. Come on, Mama. Ooh, it's a real life. Oh, there's two. Maybe we'll clean these all up and clean that clamp up and everything before we put it back together, so that we can, you know, maybe have an easier go on the reassembly process, because that was not what I would call easy. Okay, now if you're still awake at this point, this is the portion of the story where we decide to put the timing thing in line. Somebody asked me about that in one of the other videos and was like, hey, do you always have to do that? Well, if you want an easy time reassembling, you do, because, you know, if you have the line lined up and then you put the pump back that way, it's the same as it was before. You don't have to do any guesswork. But if you get it out of time, then you're going to have to put number 1 on compression, and you're going to have to line it up, and then you're going to have to look and make sure that the, you know, like a lot of times it's like 4 degrees before top dead center or whatever. So then you'll have to figure out what that translates to on your flywheel. If your flywheel's got marks, well, dandy for you. But if your flywheel doesn't have marks because it's, you know, it was a timing tape and it's long peeled off, then you got to get out your measuring apparatus and do some calculations and figure out what 4 degrees translates to, or whatever it is it says your thing is, and then you have to have that all in accordance, and then that would be where your lines line up in here. So it's just easier if you do it this way and then don't touch it at all for any reason. Walk away, make sure nobody turns it, take the battery out, throw the key away, that kind of thing. Now, I supposing that just by looking at it, that nasty old diesel fuel has made the 2 surfaces in there very dirty. So I'm going to have to get some more brake clean so we can spray that as we go and try to clean that off. And we may have to go around a couple times to be able to see the lines so we can get this done correctly. And that's just how it has to be because of sadness and things. So let me grab another can, because believe it or not, we're out. I think I've pretty well used up all of this. There's just a little bit left. Let's just spray it all over it so that it knows that we're a brake clean family here. And I might even have to take the little screwdriver. I think I did that on the last one and had to kind of rub it around on that to scrape the scummy diesel fuel off. I can't. It's almost like a varnish. It's like you varnished it and then it puts that color coating, and sometimes you can't see the scribe line. So that's what we're going to do. Let me go get another can and we'll start turning. Okay. Also, side note, field trip, whatever you want to call it. Here's the fuel filter housing that I have for an 1850, it says it came off of. So I don't know if I want to try to adapt this in there and get it set up. Physically, it would be about the same size. And I don't know if the bolt holes were right, a guy might be able to just bolt it in there like it is. The only problem I'm going to have is the inlet and outlets are backwards of what I would like. Like I would have to go, I could go both on one side. This would be the inlet, which would work out right because the line's right there, but then this one is the outlet line. So I'd have to pivot that around, which would be no problem. I could make a new line from here to here, and then I would have to also come up with a plug for this port, which I don't know what the thread size is. So it may be the kind of deal where I just want to, I don't know. It may be the kind of deal where I just want to order new so that I know I could test. Usually they're either M14 or they're like a tapered something or other. We can do experimentation on them and decide. I think this one's also got the tapered things down in there, but then some of them can use rubber. But then this has got this bolt, which tells me that it's probably like, I don't know, banjo bolt style. We'll do some looking. I've got some parts. We'll make it happen. But what I'm getting at is I think this is the, even if I get a different one of these, this would be the least intrusive way. And I think now that I think about it, I might as well just order a new one complete, bolted on here, and then it has 2 ports. The new ones usually have 2 ports on each side, and I could do 1 port in from that side with the in line and make a new line, and then this side I could just come out this way straight over to here, and 99% of people wouldn't know the difference, but I'll know the difference. Filter companies who can't make the right filters, I'll know. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Okay, now you can't see what's got to happen, but it's got to happen. And really, would it be easier to bar it over? Well, it's going to be easier for me to sit on the ground probably and do it. But I'm thinking that if I had me a pry bar, a shorter pry bar than this big giant long one I have here, that I could turn the engine over slowly and get those 2 things in line. I guess I could use the big pry bar, it doesn't matter. Let me just get where I can actually see what's happening, because right now I can't. Also, if I sit like this and the pallets collapse, I'm going to lose both my legs. So that'll be fun. You know. Right. Gigantic pry bar. Gigantic pry. Easiest way to bar it over. So I guess in this rendition, that's going to put you right in the way. I didn't realize that. Using a way too big affair. And then what happens is, in between times, the dirty diesel fuel runs down. And then it washes out all the stuff we just did. There we took a big jump. Sometimes the line is super faint too, like you have to really, that's why we got to make sure that that stuff is off of there, that nasty brown coating. And I'll try to get you a super good view of the line on this one if I can. I don't know that I can, but so far no line in sight. There it comes. Ooh. No, it doesn't come out. This one's got the same thing as that other one. And I had never seen this before. And I don't think that pump guy had either, because he said, hey. Or I asked about it. But this has got like a notch in the rotating disc. And I don't really understand what its purpose was. Unless it had to do with back if this pump had one of those side hose jobs. Yep, that's got that notch. Ooh, and then I bet that's the line right next to that notch though. I would call that correct. I'm gonna probably go around a second time just to be sure, but I would call that the line. Let me get you in on this so you can see. Probably not, you probably won't focus. Okay, the stationary line that stays put is on this side. You see that? Maybe, maybe not. Focus, camera. Anyway, then on the rotating disc, which is on the far side there, it's got like a notch in it. And then right above that is the scribe, what I believe is the scribe line that we need. But I would rather go around a second time just to be sure that I'm not crazy. At least not in this case. that I'm crazy. But can I get that? Physically get that? Probably not. I was gonna try to do it with the fan. There we took a big jump. Let me get the stuff again and we'll clean as we go around. Just to make sure there's no other marks on this for any reason whatsoever. I'm pretty sure there's not, but let's just keep going. Let me get the fan. This is how Ross cuts his hand open on the fan shroud. Same exact way. Boy, there she's getting tight. Also, I want to excite you about some clues. Look in there. That's pretty rusty, which tells me that this thing either sat where it could get water in it, or it sat for a long time where you could get mouse house in it. Come on, tractor. Now I can't turn it by hand that way. Let's go back to the bar. And then when we're good and hammered, we'll come back here and work on this. Okay, see now, here, I thought I saw another thing, but it might just be a speck of something. And it's not really a mark. I guess in all honesty, it doesn't really matter as long as you put it back to the same thing that you took it off to. So it could have 25 marks on it, and as long as you're using the same one as what you had. I guess the days of me turning it with the fan are over with. I guess I'm gonna be going over. More schmutz, but definitely not any kind of marking in this area. I kind of thought for positivity's sake, you know, just make sure that it's really okay. Now it seems like it's turning easy again. I turn it with the fan. Oh yeah. There we went a big jump. We should be coming around again now. I mean, come on now. Okay. Now, can you see it on this one? How those two lines are in register? Probably not, but again, there's a line right there, and then the line that doesn't move is right there, and they're totally in alignment. So that's what we want. Now we're going to struggle bus it and pull this pump off. I've already done some of the struggle busing off camera in the form of I got that back one broke loose, because it's always a fun time, isn't it? Let's tighten that up on there. We're not going to send him the old gasket because he'll put a new one in there. I always like to double check, friends. Like, I don't like to, when we put it on, we're going to make sure we look at the timing window just to be sure that it really is where it's supposed to be again, because anything could happen between getting it from him and the trip home, and we don't want, should have went on this way. We don't want to have a stupid mistake bite us in the canute. So we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. And then again, I think these are in such a way that you actually have to do, it may be the top one, you can't get it all with that. I can't remember. Every tractor's a little different just because of the way that everything else is made. What you can get, what you can't. With what type of wrench and what have you. There we go. We're starting to make some headway. Now we're getting there. See, we're maxed out on that top one. We can't go anymore. Oh, people. Okay. I hope I don't forget all the stuff I'm supposed to do. Sadness, friends. Sadness if I do. Okay. Now, I have this back one loose. Am I not going to be able to get on there now? How did I do that a while ago? There. I had it down to a science. We are struggling, struggling, struggling. We are struggling. La 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 la. I need to just buy the special tool to get that bottom thing out. I know you can do it without it, but it's easier on it because if you strip it out, then you're hosed. But I need to just learn to do this myself so that I could get these going like this one. But I always say it's nice to have that warranty so that if something bad happens, I can get mad at somebody else instead of myself. It's a lot nicer to yell at somebody else than yourself in the mirror. Oh, this is a struggle, friends, to get this off of there. And I'm not talking about actually the layout of the pump. I'm talking about the physical contortion that I have to put myself in to get down to this level. It's a killer. We're pretty well off, though. I wonder if it would turn my hand. That's what you always wonder, isn't it? Thing is, though, I won't be able to get the wrench off of it now because of the way that it is. I might be making it worse. I might be making it worse, friends. That's okay, though. It can be worse. Oh, man. Oh, this is nasty. There's so much rust. I hope that's not in the motor. I don't know if you can see what I just saw, but I'm hoping that's basically just on the... I'm going to throw that phone in the far, far away Is it a hand job yet? It is. Now wait a minute. Come on. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Okay. Come on over there. Come on over there. Come on over there. Ooh. Ew. This is not good. I don't think I've ever experienced that in my travels either. That, oh, yuck. Way to get it all over yourself, dummy. Okay, I have never experienced this on one. Okay, I guess it's not as bad as I thought it was. But it is rusty, and it is pitted. This is the dirt that I saw. But what it did was it got into the slotted hole. You know, the pump has slotted holes so you can turn it. But that old pump is nasty. And I think this is just like that other one where it's like, all right, you're getting too hot, but I don't know that I've ever seen one pitted like that. We're gonna have to clean that up, which it's fine. I mean, that's not really any kind of important surface other than I don't want to drag my umbrella seals across it. So we'll smooth that out and get that cleaned up super good. And then we should be okay. This and that other 550 are the only times I think I've ever had a tractor where it was like 45 degrees. Usually when you take these shafts off in time, it's straight up and down. So maybe that's just a quirk of a 4-cylinder, or maybe it's just a quirk of a 550 with this style pump. I don't know. I just know that I don't work on a lot of 550 diesels. They just don't come around. So, sure. Anywho's, there is our pump extricated from the tractor, and now it is going to be a waiting game. We are just going to have to take this in, and whenever he gets to it, he gets to it. We got to get a different stop cable, which is fine. We may just use that one I was going to put on my gas 1655. That should be a long enough one to get from there to over here. So we got plenty of homework. We can work on this in the meantime. We'll take this away. We'll get filter set up better. Then we'll get clean up some of this trash here because it's pretty nasty, and see if we can't get it, you know, get some of that off of there, that grime. I mean, that's just a layer of grime. There's the green paint still underneath all of this grime. So it's like it's a good 1/8 inch thick layer of whatever this material is. So, you know, we'll get that off of there somehow so we can work with a clean surface when we put back together. And then we'll put that back on when it comes back, and we'll find out what other terrible issues this thing has, and then we'll find out that it wasn't worth the money we spent on it. But hey, that's how she goes. You win some, you lose some. So, not really. I think that as rough as this is, I still think that it's worth saving, because you just don't see a 550 diesel. And I don't know, like I got room to spend some money on it. I'm not worried about that. Plus it can sit here for 35 years before we ever turn wrenches on it again if it wants. There's no rule that says I have to do it today. I would like to hear it run to see where we go from here. And we know we have to fix filter. We know we have to fix coolant. Get a hose for that. I have the stuff to change the oil. I was going to do that, but I'll probably wait till I bolt the pump on and then change the oil before we start it. I'll have to let it down off of one pallet because it's too high. It's at an angle downhill like this, and the oil needs to come out like that. So so we need to do stuff like that, you know, just We can also change that air cleaner. Like I said, I've got another one. I looked, the stuff I salvaged from the junkyard, that one nose is exactly what we need. So the rest of the stuff was kind of crap, and I kept asking myself, why did I save that nose? Well, now is the time, because a year later I need an air cleaner, and I got one. So all I got to do is take it apart. It's out there. Take it apart, make that happen, and then you know, we're one step closer to getting her to something, and then we know what we got. But that hose needs replaced on the water, then we can tell whether we got, you know, if we get it started, we'd like to let it run a while. So fuel system, cooling system work, oil changing is going to be happening. We need a battery cable so that we could actually run it with a battery instead of the way I've been doing it. If it runs good, then we can start working on stuff like wiring, gauges, back wheels, that sort of thing. But we need to hear her go first before I spend tons of money on it. I'm hoping he can do that pump for no more than 400 bucks. That's usually his most expensive price on these pumps is $400. So if I can get it for that, why, I'm only out $400. So sure enough, but we're gonna find out what is ailing this tractor. I still haven't come across anything yet that tells me why it was parked, other than the fact that maybe if the back wheels self-destructed, they parked it and thought those are too expensive, we'll find them, and then maybe the guy died or whatever. Who knows? Nobody knows why stuff is parked, but everybody always says the same thing: it ran the last time we used it. So you hope that's true about this, and I hope we can bring it around again. Hopefully it was just overhauled before they parked it, but I doubt it. So we'll get all those things done, and then I'll bring you back in another video, and hopefully finally the part 3, where it might end up being part 4 if we do other stuff in between. But hopefully in one of those videos you will in fact hear it run, and we'll know what we got. But like I said, just cranking on it, the 3-point arms came up. So it wants to live, friends. It's trying to give me a sign that it's not totally dead. So we will make that happen, and until next time, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. As always, if you enjoy my videos, give them a thumbs up. Leave a comment and tell me how dumb you think I am, or if by some slim chance you liked it, say that. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.